Hi, good evening, ladies and gentlemen out there in YouTube land. I am Deleted Cyn's human being, American, and YouTube Ronin. I would like to welcome all of you to Mystery Movie Night at Regal and AMC. And a little different tonight, and you're going to find out why, because tonight we have a special guest. But first, I want to say hello to everyone who in the chat. I have no idea who this person is. First time on in my chats in the corner. No, just kidding. But we do have a friend of our channels on here, Shadow of the Raven, joining us from the UK. Iron Herder is here. The View with Drew. Off the cover of the house. All right, folks, without further ado, bringing on my fellow panelists, ladies and gentlemen, the reason why I know you're all really here, Cyn's Corner.
Good to be here. Long time no see, Deleted.
Indeed.
I hope this stream goes better than last night's.
Yes, we're not going to discuss that because I don't want to get my channel yanked or anything else. And our special guest tonight, the man with whom in a few minutes I'm sure is going to wonder how he got talked into this. Ladies and gentlemen, joining us live off the cover.
Hello, guys.
Hey, Paul.
How you doing?
All right. Thank you for joining us this evening. Kind of a double bill tonight, folks. Whereas we have the Mystery Movie Night at the Regal, which Cyn and I both did. There's, of course, also the AMC Scene Unseen. Which is how our friend Paul tonight was able to join us.
Yep.
And they got to see their movie on time. I had to wait 10 extra minutes, and we'll get into that. Yeah. This is a funny thing. The Regal, and of course, obviously, the Unseen usually start around 7. You get the preview, so the movie starts around 7:20. Which gives us time to come home, get settled, chat for a little bit before we go on and start our show at around 10. However, my local Regal decided to, once again, as they did with Boy Kills World, to start the movie late for some reason. And next week, they're going to be doing the same. And so actually weird. Starting even later at around 7:25. So why that's taking place, I don't know.
You should ask.
It's just,
I'm curious. I'm curious to know why they're doing that. Because it makes no sense.
It doesn't. But it does throw us a few minutes off.
What was that, Paul?
It should be simultaneous between theaters, just so you don't start oh, hey, this is not it, whatever.
It usually is simultaneous.
Yeah.
But I don't know, for whatever reason, his theater's been acting strange. So
that's why you got to push to AMC, What can I say?
I had bought a ticket to the AMC showing because it took a while before Regal put up the tickets for sale for this one and for the 20th. But the AMC for me is farther away. So I do prefer to go to the Regal. So then I just canceled and got the Regal ticket.
You're just not a fan of Nicole Kidman coming on before.
Oh, I haven't even seen that thing. I haven't even seen that.
I love it. When I go to Regal, I'm like, where is she? What happened?
Is Regal the one that used to have Danny Trejo?
Yes.
The Danny Trejo intro, and they were throwing out these movie lines. Yeah.
Yeah. Which I'm not a fan of. I like my woman, Nicole Kidman. and her dazzling suit.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna have to look it up and watch it sometime
Yeah.
on YouTube or something. I've heard about it.
Yeah. She's like wearing this sparkly suit. It's just, I don't know, the whole thing is awesome.
I went to an AMC when I was up in Jersey when we went to go see Civil War, and they didn't
Nice.
show the Nicole Kidman thing. So I don't remember seeing it at all, unless maybe they had played it before the trailers and we got there. I don't know.
Oh yeah.
I don't know. Okay.
All right.
Sorry.
Well,
a lot of chit chat.
No, that's fine. Unfortunately for me, I don't have an AMC. The closest one is the Regal, and there's a Cinemark on the other side of town. But that's it.
I prefer my Cinemark to my Regal, but they don't have a competitive membership. So I canceled my membership with them, and I just go with Regal.
All right. Well, let's just go ahead and get down to it. And well, I guessed this one wrong. My guess that it was going to be Back to Black, the Amy Winehouse movie. But no.
No, it wasn't. I knew the opening shot. I was like, well, this is not the UK.
No.
This is the US. This is not going to be Back to Black. So I was glad about that. But yeah.
Well, the opening thing with Neon, I was like, okay, Neon makes some good movies. Like, I had my hopes up to be dashed later.
I'm curious to hear your thoughts.
And
I'm ready. I'm ready.
Welcome a first timer to my chat, Caveat Ties. Thank you for joining us.
Oh.
All right. Well, I'll just go ahead and let everybody know what it is. Tonight's movie was Babes.
Yes.
Starring a bunch of actors that most of us didn't know. I knew a few. I did not know the leads. I'm trying to figure out where exactly I've heard of Alana Glazer, but I'm drawing a blank. So I will be consulting my Letterboxd quite a bit through the show because I don't know who the hell any of these people are. All right. Well, I'm just going to go and read off the synopsis because the one that the Letterboxd has is about as good as any. A single woman who, after getting pregnant from a one-night stand, leans on her married best friend and mother of two to guide her through gestation and beyond.
About sums it up.
About sums it up, yeah.
They should have added poorly written.
It should have added poorly written.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
let's give him the floor. I know he's ready.
Take it. Go for it.
Let us know.
It's all yours.
Thoughts.
Wait, me? I thought ladies first.
Oh, no.
Okay.
You're the guest.
Oh,
you're the guest tonight. This is your first appearance.
Okay, all right. So, yeah, I mean, I'm going to go ahead and say that, like, this to me felt a lot like the movie, I want to say 1995's 9 Months with Hugh Grant and Julianne Moore.
Okay.
I mean, it's similar plot line. I mean, same with Knocked Up as well. But whereas, like, with 9 Months, you had Hugh Grant, you had Julianne Moore, you had Robin Williams, you had Tom Arnold, you had Joan Cusack. Then, like, the dialogue was written much better. And this was, like, my major gripe. And I was just sitting there thinking, I'm like, my generation just can't write. I mean, they just can't write good dialogue. They can't write good story. Like, a lot of the dialogue was very crass and vulgar, where it could have been written like it was in 9 Months and been just, let me be fair. There were funny moments, which I got a chuckle out of me. That's fine. Cause I curse like a sailor, in daily life, but the dialogue was just as funny and not crass in 9 months versus this one. So that's like my number one gripe. It's just very poorly written. The acting is like okay, but to me, like a lot of the scenes were jarring. It didn't have like a good flow in the way the movie felt. And Hassan Minaj, this is where I turn to like critical drinker level. He's kind of made to be this like throwaway character.
Is that the husband?
That's the husband, yeah.
Okay.
And there's that. Are we doing spoilers, by the way? Like we're just ripping this movie apart?
We
Yeah,
I mean, we usually stay away from spoilers, but in my opinion, there's only one little bit in this whole movie that could be potentially considered a spoiler.
Got it. Okay. So I don't think this one's it. There is a scene where Hassan Minaj is sitting with, what's this woman's name? Michelle Buteau as Dawn.
Mm-hmm.
Is that his wife? Was that the scene with his wife?
Yeah, where they're like just sitting on the bed, and like I was mostly concentrating on him rather than her, and it was just like I could tell what was going on through his head. It's like, oh my god, what am I doing with my life that I'm in this movie? Like it was just like, yeah, because like he wasn't very utilized in the movie, and neither was Oliver Platt, which was kind of a shame.
Yeah.
So
he was on the end there a little bit. I mean, I like the scene with him and his daughter. Yeah. I thought that was kind of touching. Them on there were some touching moments in here that kind of got me a little bit. Like at the end, and so I kind of had a feeling what had been going on with the one night stand. I kind of predicted that this was the situation.
Yeah.
And so that, put a little bit of seriousness into the story. Yeah. And there were a couple times, all right, most of the time, there were some people in the audience laughing and thought certain parts were hilarious, and I thought it was not. I thought the humor was too crass for me to enjoy, and I don't really care for crass humor. But it felt like it was constant, you guys. It was just all right, come on, enough talking about your, the
expletive
whatever.
Needed.
Yeah, and there was like there were like two times I actually laughed. One was when she showed that little kid the Omen.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that was hysterical. That actually made me think of you, Cyn. I was like, oh, we're going to talk about this.
And then when the little kid ended up like scaring the nanny off because he was like writing 666, and that was funny. That was funny to me. Yeah. And then the part where they were going to give her the amniocentesis with that long ass needle, that was funny to me. And then I was trying to remind myself, did I ever have that done when I was pregnant? Because I don't think I did. I think I passed on that. I was like, I'll take my chances. So I never had that big needle stuck in my belly. But and that scene was funny, how she was like screaming and he hadn't even touched her. So that was funny to me. But most of the time I was like, this isn't funny. Yeah. I don't like these women. She's too ridiculous and silly. And that first encounter she has with the guy on the train, it's like, are you serious? Is this supposed to be like the how she just kind of jumped right into the sex talk with him? And I was like, that's like, this is so crass and gross. Just like, this is so, like, what the heck?
So that does happen on New York City subways. You will hear that way more.
I mean, I've seen videos on New York of New York subways of people actually in the act. I think they were both stoned or high as crap, but still, it was just like, that's okay. I don't know. Maybe I've just been sheltered from those types of people, but I was just that was like, wow, you're really gross. This is not.
Well, the grossest part is a major, major, major faux pas on the New York City subway. It may be dirty.
with them eating that
like,
food.
You could eat a Snickers bar, maybe a sandwich. What like
She's eating like
she's outright
sushi.
eating sushi, which is like, no, dude, you do not do that. Like you will, like the woman across from her, I think was giving her like the
she was like
nasty look. That everybody would give you the nasty look. Like you just don't do that.
Well, she was just gross anyway. I mean, she just kind of, I don't know. She was, I wasn't, it honestly, it took me a bit to warm up to those characters.
Yeah.
Because for the bulk of the movie, I did not like them.
Yeah.
I didn't like the way the lady talked about her husband and talked to her husband. Yeah. I didn't appreciate that at all. The whole labor scene in the restaurant, which was supposed to be funny, to me wasn't funny at all. And she's dripping in the restaurant, and then she gets mad at the waiter because the waiter's like, I need to tell my manager because this is a restaurant, bodily fluids are dripping. Like, what the, and then she gets all mad at him about it. And then all the screaming and wailing going out the door. And then she's crawling on the hospital floor. And this was supposed to be funny. To me, it wasn't funny. It just looked stupid. Yeah. And she had no wetness on the back of her dress. When she crawled in the elevator, I was looking because all this wetness that she kept talking about was coming out of her, what? It was like, oh my God. And then she's examining her right in the middle of the restaurant, like looking up her dress. What the hell? Yeah. This is supposed to be funny. This is not funny to me. This is just nasty.
And I mean, 9 months did it better.
Yeah. It's been a while since I've seen that, but I remembered enjoying it-ish. This isn't typically my type of film. I did like some of the seriousness at the end and the way the story wrapped up. I did like that. I got like, where her friend was coming from.
Yeah.
That she didn't want to live with her, but they wanted to be close and all this. And I felt like she was being a little unreasonable to her friend.
Yeah, yeah.
Like you should have told me when you were going to move. Like, what the hell? Why?
Yeah.
And at the same time, I felt a little bit sorry for her because she was going to be, a single mother, basically. And so it's kind of scary. I will say this, I did appreciate the pro-life sort of decision in here that was going on, and that it wasn't, that little exchange between the two women initially, and her friend thought she was going to choose to abort, and that was what she was hoping. And then her, like, when she was like, oh, what the hell is she gonna have this baby, and then at the end when the baby comes and the she's holding the child and she's like, we need to talk about this every day, like this miracle, it's making babies and babies are coming out like you're making whole people and this is amazing. I like that messaging. I wish we had more of that. But
because I mean, I that could have easily, with today's modern writing, could have easily gone the opposite direction of them, like making light of abortion.
Yeah, and they didn't. She was, when she knew she was pregnant, she got serious about taking care of herself.
I want to say if this was with Amy Schumer, it would have gone the other way.
Oh, Lord, have mercy.
Well, I'll give it this. It had more laughs in it than Unfrosted did.
Then what did?
Unfrosted. I don't know if you've seen that yet.
Oh no, I have not seen that.
The Jerry Seinfeld.
I've heard that's terrible.
Yeah, I mean, I would only.
Oh my God!
But I wasn't interested to see it.
Yeah.
Well, I tell you, the one of the blurbs on the poster here is the bridesmaids of baby making, and this did remind me a lot of Bridesmaids. The difference was Bridesmaids was funny.
Yeah. And well written.
Yes.
This movie wants to be Bridesmaids so bad. It's like it's like you take Bridesmaids, you cut out everybody except Kristen Wiig and Melissa McCarthy. And you just turn everything up to 11.
Yeah.
Because everything in this movie is just so overdone and overcooked. It's this modern day ramble comedy crap that doesn't work for me. It's very scattershot. The Omen stuff is fun. The Omen scene was funny. That got the biggest laugh out of me.
Yeah.
The bit where they do the amniocentesis only gets funny to me until Oliver Platt gets there and he starts screaming, and that was funny. Okay,
well, yeah,
that's funny. The last one, she's like, no, and you got to blindfold me, you got to gag
you had to
me,
gag
like,
me and blindfold me. She didn't want to say it, but even then, she still screamed before the needle even touched her.
Yeah,
no.
And then they try it the fourth, and again, this is a joke that is very nearly beaten to death.
Yeah.
Until they bring Oliver Platt to the scene and he saves it.
Yeah, he's like, "What are you doing to my daughter?"
He's always like a scene saver. Ever since Executive Decision with
yeah.
Oh yeah, I forgot he was in that.
Yeah. He didn't steal the scene, but he saved a lot of it.
I need to watch that movie again someday.
It's so
good.
It's
been a while.
Classic. Steven Seagal dies in the first 10 minutes.
Yes, I know, so unexpected. But I loved it.
So I tell you, I used to think it was just me. Now I don't think it's just me. They can't write comedy.
They can't. No.
It's hard.
And this is her movie. This is her gig. Alana Glazer also co-wrote the film.
Oh, is that right?
Now, was she the main star?
Let's see.
Okay.
So born in 1987, so very deeply millennial.
Yeah.
Oh,
have you guys seen Anyone But You?
Yes, I loved it.
Okay, so that's like raunchy type of comedy, right? And so how does that compare and contrast to this?
I don't know. It was better written. The movie flowed better. It's like from scene to scene, it was pretty jarring. I don't know whether it was the editing or what, but like the tonal shifts between scenes were just to me, it was very jarring.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, my sister makes fun of me. I went to see it with my nephew and my sister. Me and my nephew loved Anyone But You, and my sister was like, "What the hell am I watching?"
No, I know a lot of people liked it. Some people didn't.
Yeah.
And rom-com, it's not my thing, so I just pass.
I'll take a good one like The Holiday, or I don't know, 9 Months, for example. But yeah, there has not been any good comedy. So this is the thing that I deleted. Since this is the first time we're talking, this is something that I always drop. The question: what is the last movie you've seen where you laugh out loud, spit your drink out in the theater?
In the theater.
Like you're taking a sip of your soda.
Wow.
You laugh.
Exactly.
My thoughts exactly.
Well, I don't go see comedies. So, comedies are geared to try to make you laugh more. Most of the films I see aren't hugely comedic. There was some comedic moments in Abigail that kind of got a snicker out of me. But as far as like laughed out loud,
it's Tropic Thunder. Like the answer is Tropic Thunder.
I never saw that on the big screen. I wish I had.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Now American Fiction. Okay.
That was funny.
I did laugh. I did laugh quite a bit during American Fiction, and that was a Regal mystery movie.
Yeah, I mean that was a very witty movie, and very good take on like the woke, anti-woke thing going on. I thought it was a very intelligent movie.
It was constructive messaging.
Yeah.
But in contrast, I mentioned this in my review for the Magical American Society of Magical Negroes. I compared and contrasted American Fiction with that because it tries to have this messaging, but it's very mean-spirited and divisive and just actually factually incorrect in a lot of the messaging that was put forth there.
Yeah.
And so it completely failed at what it was trying to do, whereas American Fiction, it said what it set out to say in a much better and constructive way that didn't feel like it was like making this general overarching attack against white people or whatever,
Right.
you know.
Yeah.
So the American, the Magical Negroes one was so different. It just like those two, just one failed and one completely succeeded at the writing, the messaging portion of it.
Yeah.
But Mary, I laughed quite a bit during American Fiction.
Yeah, I like that. I like that movie a lot. Certainly a hell of a lot better than Zone of Interest.
I never saw that one.
Don't bother.
I have a screener and I just haven't. I'm just not always in the mood to watch things like that.
You're saving 2 hours of your hard-earned life.
Yeah, this is where Paul and I are going to have to disagree, because I had it. I think I had it either in or near my top 10
for 2023.
Yeah.
Oh, this is interesting. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, so my reasoning was that, yeah, okay, like I get what the point's supposed to be, the banality of life and blah, blah, blah. But what would have made the movie more interesting to me is what led up in terms of like human psychology from, you're being a family man to, hey, you're committing genocide. Like, show me what leads up to that psychologically. That would have made it way better. But just as it was, it was like, I don't want to.
No. I understand.
Yeah.
They don't really too deeply go psychologically into the guy.
Yeah. And I wish
they could have done that. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, that's what I said in my review. It's scary because they're all so calm.
Right. Yeah.
And he's in this room with all of these high command. He's where he wants to be, and he calls up his wife and says, I'm trying to think of all the ways I can kill everybody in the room.
Yeah. I mean,
she's kind of like, oh, okay, that's nice, dear. And I'm like,
yeah.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah.
It
was so
that disconnect.
Yeah.
So I wanted to know what led up to that disconnect, because that's like a massive, it's a disconnect.
Maybe that wasn't the point of it, though. Maybe it was just the point was just to plop you right in the middle of this situation. Here's these people.
Yeah.
This is where their mind is. Let's follow along with them for a little bit.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. That's fair enough.
There was somebody who described it as, it's about a guy who's very good at his job. He has to move away for a while and leave his family, and he comes back home.
Yeah, that's it.
And the movie is pretty much exactly that, but it's just seeing how messed up these people are, and especially the kids.
Yeah.
That older kid, he's just Hitler Youth incarnate. That kid is evil.
Yeah.
And that's because of
indoctrination or
so to me it was, and I'm not somebody who scares easy in movies, and it's not that Zone of Interest necessarily scared me. There's a sense of dread over that entire movie.
Yeah.
And the mother of the wife, I think she kind of snaps out of it in a way, because she goes into that whole monologue of, hey, we had Jewish friends, and I don't know where they are now. They could be on the other side of the wall for all I know.
Yeah.
And she has that scene where she just looks out the window at the camp, and then the next morning, not a note, nothing. She's just gone.
Yeah.
I mean, that was a good scene.
As far as like sense of dread in these whatever sort of indie movies, I really liked it. I don't know if you guys have seen it. It came out very briefly. It was nominated for Best Foreign a year, 2 years ago, or last year maybe. This movie called EO. It's a Polish movie about a donkey. So the sense of dread within that movie like built up very much into like very creepy, and then at the end you're like, oh god, and like that's it, cut to black. So I felt like that did this sense of dread thing better, in that similar sort of like artistic style, because they both had like the red and black. They both no, sorry. So EO did it in red and black, and Zone of Interest did it in like infrared or whatever. When the girl was like leaving whatever it was, apples for the camp people. Yeah. So like to me, those two movies like felt very artistically equitable. Similar. Yeah. But if you haven't seen EO, I recommend it. It's very good. Not a lot of dialogue, so you're not going to be reading subtitles that long. But whoa!
I'll add it to my letterboxd right now. How do you spell it? EYO?
Just the letter EO.
E-O.
Oh, EO. Okay.
Yeah.
It's so good. Like the movie has like a total of, I don't know, 20 lines of dialogue, but it's so good.
Okay, I'll add it.
Yeah. Sorry, Chuck. When you get people like Cyn and Paul and I together, and you go off
down rabbit holes.
You will go off on these tangents.
This is what happens. Yeah, this is what happened.
And that's because I think we have so little really to say about this movie.
Yeah.
Well, I have all these notes. Like most of my notes are in the con. There was a
go for it.
Well, I mean, we've kind of talked over pretty much everything. I was writing not funny so far, humor stupid and gross, and there was a scene where the two friends were talking, and the main character was saying to her friend how nourishing she is to everybody. She's nourishing to her husband. She's nourishing to everyone around. She's nourishing to her kids. She's nourishing. And I'm like, no, half the time she's a bitch to her husband. And a bitch to the people around her. Like, where the hell did this come from? Because she's not. I did like the moment between her and her husband where they're sitting down and they're kind of just sort of venting to each other about where they are in their headspace.
Yeah.
That was about the nicest that she was to her husband most of the movie. Yeah. Oh, and the whole thing about her not being able to produce milk. And it was like many weeks before she produced milk. I don't know about this. I would think she would have had an infection or something by then, because there was clearly something wrong if she's not producing, because remember she had the baby Thanksgiving and she didn't start producing until New Year's. What?
Yeah, I don't think that happens. I'm not a doctor, but
I mean, I've had 2 children, so I kind of know that if you're not producing within the first week or so, there's something really wrong. You probably have something's blocked up or whatever, and you might get an infection, or know. So that didn't seem quite right. Anyway, yeah.
So one other detail that my OCD mind.
Yeah, this is what you were.
So when they're getting ready to go to the hospital, and she goes with the doula to get an Uber, and then her friend pulls up in the limo. So what I noticed was the license plate on the Uber didn't start with a T, which means, and it was a New York plate, which means it was not an Uber. So her friend may have saved her life.
She might have gotten in the wrong.
my OCD mind was like BMW, not starting with the letter T for on the license plate, because in New York you have to be registered with the Taxi and Limousine Commission, and then they change your license.
So they have. Oh, okay, that's interesting.
So it's like T, and then like it's a long plate. It's like 7 numbers maybe. But it's always
I would have never noticed.
Yeah, I mean, they don't do it in like New Jersey or anywhere else.
Okay.
But this movie took place in New York, and my OCD mind, caught on that. Oh, and the other one, which she was trying to get from the Upper West Side to Astoria, and she's like, the 2 to the 7 to the G to the N, and I'm like, no. Like, that might be the path, the most circuitous path to get to like Bay Ridge, but it ain't gonna take you to Astoria, okay? Like, I don't know how that worked out.
Oh, wow. So is this chick from New York? Because you would think if the lady that wrote this,
let's find out.
If she's actually from New York, she should know better.
Well, she went to NYU, so she spent 4 years, according to her Wikipedia. Yeah, graduated NYU in 2009, majoring in psychology. Born in New York City, age 37.
Well, that's weird. I wonder how in the world that slipped through. You think she would?
Yeah, that was not accurate. I actually pulled out my phone and I'm like, hold up. And I went to my
you were
app and I'm like,
fact checking.
Is she going to Bay Ridge or what? Because she did say Astoria, which is in Queens, and the route that she described was like Manhattan into Queens down into Brooklyn. So I don't know.
Oh, that's interesting. I never would have picked up on that either.
Train if you're trying to get to Astoria, like it's impossible. Like, it's physically, you're not capable of taking the G to Astoria.
That's interesting.
Yeah. Sorry. I mean,
well, I can see why that would bother you. You live in the area.
Yeah. It's just my OCD mind. I'm like, that just takes me out of it.
That's completely understandable. Oh, yeah. Oh, the whole part, I'm reminded of when she was testing for her pregnancy. That whole thing was dumb and stupid.
Oh, when they were on shrooms?
Yeah, when they were on shrooms and she peed on the carpet.
Yeah.
Because she thought that was
that was just childish.
And she did it multiple times. It was like that sort of like humor. Yeah. It doesn't. Maybe if there's like one little moment, one really kind of like, ooh, that's so gross, it's hilarious. But this stuff happening, yes, it happened multiple times. It wasn't funny.
Yeah, it was just wasn't funny. Also, when you do shrooms, that's not what happens.
I have no idea. I'm I would not know. What does happen? Tell us, Paul.
Well, my suggestion is that if anybody's out there willing to try it, to first listen to Andrew Huberman's podcast about it, because the guy's a scientist and he goes into the details. But the absolute best place to do this endeavor is a museum.
Oh, okay.
It's an extremely visual pharmacological effect. And you're just like, just to give you a little backstory and keep it PG. There's in New York, there's the Met Museum, and they have this gigantic painting by Jackson Pollock, where it's basically like it's modern art vomit.
Yeah.
But with the person that I did it with, I don't want to reveal who. We're like. It looked like, the opening crawl of like Marvel movies where they show different scenes.
Yes.
So this is like barbed wire and with individual scenes. It was like watching like 50 different TV channels, and we're like, yo, are you seeing that? It's like, yeah, we're seeing builders building New York in the 1920s. I mean, that's what happens. Like, you're not
crazy.
Like. Mm-hmm. The breast joke, the breast milk joke, that's not going to happen. It's more visual than feeling. Yeah, that's all I'll say about that.
Okay. Well, thank you for that education.
But not encouraging any of this. If before you do anything, listen to Andrew Huberman's podcast episode about this topic.
Okay. Good to know for our viewing audience. Oh, also the whole thing about when her milk came in. The only time it projectiles like that is if you have nothing on. Okay? That was not accurate.
See, details. We're like
the clothes, the bra, that's going to stop it. It's just going to get wet.
Yeah.
It's just going to, but that doesn't look nearly as hilarious, right, as the, jet streams of milk. And that was just like,
Right.
see, so I'm like, ugh.
And that's another thing that they took you out of it.
Yeah, because I know this just is not a thing at all.
Right.
So stupid. It just was gross.
So that brings it up to, this movie was written by a millennial, and Critical Drinker, Nerdrotic, a bunch of other people have mentioned it, is that these young writers are coming in writing when they have zero life experience. So like, by the time Hemingway or Tolkien wrote their books, they'd been through like a major world war, and they have like actual life experience, like lived experience. I mean, millennials, what?
Well,
your internet went out, like big deal.
You would think at the very least, what they don't have complete knowledge about, they should reach out to somebody.
Yes.
And maybe they did, maybe they just didn't care because it would look funnier for jet streams of milk across the but that's just the type of comedy that to me it was just stupid and crass and gross and just didn't work for me. It caters
more to the TikTok brain rot.
Maybe.
Sorry. And now I'm just dating myself.
No, but I was thinking the same thing throughout
it's
the
very
movie.
juvenile.
Now, because
but
you have
in a bad way.
You have
funny.
Yeah.
Right. Like you have the Omen joke, which I can laugh at because that's something that I can relate to. This is one of those movies where I felt I either had to be in my 30s again, or I had to be married, or I had to have kids of my own. Because my thought was this, is this one of those movies that's not made for me? And not in that whole, well, we didn't make it for you.
Right, yeah.
Am I the target audience for this? So that's where I'm having the issue. Am I just at that point where I'm no longer in that 18 to 49 demographic, and I'm just not getting it? And hello, Laura.
Yeah, you know exactly who it was. You
got to give yourself a little more credit, Deleted. To me, this felt a lot like, and I just had to like look up this very bad show. It felt a lot like Broad City. I don't know if you guys. Oh, holy cow! Okay, no wonder it felt like that because a lot of it. Okay, all right. Well, yeah, okay. And it's just like it. I watched a few episodes of that show and I'm like, okay.
Okay.
Yeah, because that's
anything else.
Yeah, that's what this felt like to me. This felt like I'm watching a movie with a bunch of comedians who are from some comedy show on FX that I'll never watch.
Yeah.
That's what it felt
like. A comedy troupe that you're like, because there's like the whole comedy troupe from what's that very late 90s, early 2000s show, Geeks, and it was like with Jason Segel and Seth Rogen.
Freaks and Geeks.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So there's that comedy troupe. And I guess there's like some of the SNL, like from the 90s, Chris Farley, Chris Rock, all that. And then there's like the mid 2000s with like Kirsten Wiig and what is it, Amy Poehler.
Yeah, her.
And then there's this comedy troupe. But this one, like Alana Glazer, she's just like, she's not funny. Like, it's some momentary moments of fun,
little glimmers
of funny, but it ain't. I'm sorry, it ain't Chris Farley. It ain't Adam Sandler.
Yeah, it was too over the top.
Yeah,
it felt very forced. It felt manufactured.
Yeah.
It didn't feel authentic or organic.
Yeah,
it's like if you're doing a comedy you can't crack me up halfway through the movie. You've got to be doing it early on. You got to grab me. You got to, it's got to be. I'm not expecting every movie to be Spinal Tap or Monty Python and Holy Grail.
Sure,
where it's just laugh a minute, from beginning to end, yeah, a llama bit my sister. No, really, she was carving her initials on the llama. No, it's even in the opening credits, you're cracking up.
Yeah.
And the first scene in this, I was like,
yeah,
I need a very stiff drink.
Well, that's why I'm going through my bourbon.
I was thinking I had never had plans to watch this show.
Yeah, I had no
to watch
no
this movie. Zero plans. I feel like I feel like maybe I liked it more than I would have liked Back to Black, because my interest in that was way in the negative, definitely, for sure. But I honestly don't know. I was dreading the possibility of it being Back to Black because I just have zero interest in that movie.
I see the trailer for Back to Black during this mystery night. I did notice that the girl that plays Amy Winehouse also stars in the show on HBO called Industry. It's about Wall Street, what have you. But she plays one of the most annoying characters on that show, where it's like, yeah, you're pretty, but like I'm holding myself back from slapping you because you're really, really annoying. And so I'm like, I don't want to see a movie with her headlining the movie, because like it again, a lot of the characters on Industry, like the actors, like I want to have nothing to do with them. And she's one of them. Kind of glad that it wasn't same as you, Cyn.
Yeah.
It might be on next week. Who knows?
Yeah. When is Back to Black supposed to come out again?
I think this week.
Okay, then it won't be Back to Black if that's coming out. I don't remember. What is it even is it rated R or PG-13? The one next week.
The one next week is R, according to
R. And they don't list the genre.
Deadpool
There was only
and Wolverine. Deadpool and Wolverine.
No, it won't be that. Unfortunately, they don't do those big blockbustery ones. But several weeks ago, I can't remember what the mystery movie was that night, but some people, I think Deleted, you told me. It was when I was out of town. Some people left the Regal to go to the AMC to check out that one, and funnily enough, that was a different one that night. They played the Ministry of Ungentlemanly Warfare at the AMC Screen Unseen.
Cyn, have you seen that?
I did. I went to go see it when it came out. I saw it a week before it came out. I was up in New Jersey. I actually did a review for it while I was in Jersey.
I didn't check out your video. Sorry.
Oh no, it's okay. You don't need to apologize. And there's, we have all these different YouTube friends that we sub to, and we would like to watch everybody's, but we just can't.
Well, it's like so Angry Badger puts out 3 videos a day.
He's a busy man.
And Hard Cut puts out 25-minute videos. So it's like,
they have those long conversations. Those ones are like ones that I turn on and listen to while I'm doing something that doesn't require brain power.
Right. Yeah.
Exactly. So I can just kind of listen to it in the background.
Yeah.
But
yeah. Man. Yeah. I mean, other than that, like, I was actually kind of hoping it was Furiosa, but
it won't be Furiosa.
Yeah.
I think that one's too big. Too big of a. I mean, I would be gobsmacked if it was.
Yeah. Usually it's like these smaller movies.
Yeah.
But I mean, I was so excited when I saw Neon. Like, okay, like they produced some really good movies to me. How to Blow Up a Pipeline, and then I'm like, oh, kind of.
I had, for a blip of a nanosecond, I went Long Legs.
Oh, I wouldn't have minded that at all because I love horror.
Long Legs.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, maybe Long Legs will be the one next week.
I
doubt it, but I'm hoping for it.
I wouldn't mind that one bit. There's been only one time that they told us the genre, and that was that horror night. Remember?
Ooh.
And that's when it turned out to be Sting.
Sting.
Wasn't it? Sting?
Yeah, Sting. They don't tell us the genre.
Mm.
They just lie to us about the runtime, but they're truthful about the rating.
Oh yeah, I didn't even check the runtime. I was like, I hope this is less than 2 hours. I was actually checking my watch during the movie, just to see,
I looked up the runtime as soon as I figured out what it was, and I knew we'd probably be okay on time. But see, Deleted, his didn't start until a few minutes after mine, and next week his won't start until 7:25, which means that's when trailers will actually start.
Right. Yeah.
So that's kind of same, Carl. I'm not interested in Furiosa either. I didn't care for Fury Road either, but I know a lot of people really loved it and are looking forward to Furiosa.
I'm not like I don't see the obsession with the whole Mad Max. I was kind of forced to watch that in high school.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I had this teacher, and I'll reveal a little bit. I went to Catholic school for high school, and it was the religion teacher who, I kid you not, was the living embodiment. I mean, like to a T, a living, breathing Ned Flanders as my teacher, who was obsessed with Mad Max, and like he forced me to watch it, and it was just I was like, this is not a good movie. Like the low budget crap. Like I was a late '90s kid. I want my Men in Black, my Independence Day. Like, hey, put in some production value in here. I should go back and watch it again. I don't know. Like maybe.
I've never seen the first two. The only one I saw was Thunderdome.
I actually
you need to see the first two.
You think? I'm not crazy about post-apocalyptic. See, that's the thing.
Well,
Planet of the Apes is post-apocalyptic, but oh wow, that's terrible, Dill. That's
the
trailers feels like they're lasting longer and longer. Lord. So annoying.
Like they used to be 15 minutes, and then it creeped up to 20
to 25, and now it's I've had it where sometimes they don't start the trailers right, like let's say at 7.
Right.
They'll start them 5 after or 10 after, and then they go for 20 to 25 minutes. Are you kidding me?
Yeah. Because like I just went to the bathroom. Like let's go. Let's start this. Let's start the show.
Yeah, I remember a while back, a few years ago, there was talk about them making it a requirement for movie theaters to list the time that the film actually starts.
Ooh.
Like list. Okay, say the start time, but then tell us the actual start time. That's never happened. But I typically sort of do a calculation. Okay, trailers are going to be anywhere from 15 to 25 minutes.
Yeah.
And sometimes they're longer. Sometimes there's only I've been in a movie where there was only 2 trailers.
Oh yeah.
So you can't always count it.
That happened when I went to go see Python.
Oh, Python.
And I gave myself a few minutes because I figured, like always, you're going to have 20 to 25 minutes of trailers.
Not when you're talking about an Indian movie or foreign language movie. It doesn't always work that way.
I didn't know. So I walked in, and the movie is already on. I didn't miss too much of that. It's like maybe part of the opening scene. But now I had to go
Fathom events also don't have the same sort of trailer schedule. So, yeah.
It makes it really difficult because when I go to the movies, I like to do what they call movie hopping. And so you need to line up the schedule properly. And it becomes tougher when you have 35-minute trailers.
Okay. Well, sorry they rained on your parade of movie hopping, Paul.
Like movies are so bad. I'm gonna have 2 or 3 first, okay? Like
I'm doing a double feature tomorrow. The plan is to do a double feature tomorrow with my son. He wants to see the Ministry of Ungentlemanly Warfare and Abigail before those disappear, and then he also later will probably go see Fall Guy and the Apes movie.
So that's a double that I want to do. By the way, Abigail and Ungentlemanly Warfare are on the high seas.
Yeah, well, of course they are because they're digital already.
Yeah.
But we want to see them on the
Guy,
big screen. What's that? Sorry.
I'm guessing Fall Guy will be. Although I also want to see Fall Guy on the big screen because
That's fun. That's fun on
it's
the
a
big
fun
screen.
movie. I've heard good things. It just didn't do well for
Yeah, it's
reasons.
an enjoyable film. It surprised me that it underperformed as badly as it did.
I think I have an idea why Fall Guy might not be doing as well.
Okay.
And speaking of theater hopping, I walked into a theater that was showing Fall Guy because you could hear it all the way out in the hallway.
Yeah.
Let's put it this way. I know who the ultimate villains of the piece are.
Mm-hmm.
And I pretty much figured out who it was going to be in the trailer.
Oh, based on the trailer, you figured it out?
I figured it out.
Okay. I didn't.
Okay.
It wasn't a big surprise, but I didn't figure it out.
It was kind of like...
So you feel like that's an issue?
Oh, of course.
Okay.
But then again, it's just a matter of economy of characters. It is sometimes a matter of who gets cast.
Yeah.
Because, that one's the villain. Of course they are.
Yeah.
You know, that's another thing. Another thing is, I've been around a while. I have seen all of the movies that the Fall Guy is kind of based on. I know that genre. So I know all the tricks. You know.
Yeah.
What's that, Paul?
It's based on a TV series, no?
Yeah,
it's very loosely based.
Vaguely, yeah.
The similarities are the name. They both share the same name, and they're both stuntmen. But in the TV show, he was also a bounty hunter in his time off, and that wasn't the case in this story. And the girl, Heather Thomas, I don't know if she was like his sidekick, his assistant, or whatever. I don't think she was a movie director like Emily Blunt's character was.
Oh, I see.
So they changed up quite a bit of stuff.
Yeah. I definitely want to see that. Like, I want to do a double feature of Planet of the Apes and Fall Guy. And I wanted to do it before my live stream on Thursday, but scheduling wise, I have stuff to do at night, and I'm like, they start too late, and I'm like, okay, well, can't get it done. But I'll make it a triple feature with Furiosa sometime after this weekend.
Okay. All right.
I gotta have some, cannon fodder for videos. I've been scraping the bottom of the barrel for ideas for YouTube videos.
Oh, yeah. Well, I do my videos based on what I'm just interested in watching. I tried to be all regimented and scheduled. That just does not work for me. I can't. Yeah. I put out whatever I've got out.
Yeah, I mean, I had like a good run with all my Dune videos, but yeah, since then I'm like, I'm kind of floundering. I gotta find something popular here that'll ruffle people's feathers. Like my zone of interest video that is my most disliked.
Real? Oh, because wow.
I got ratioed to Kingdom Come.
Dang.
Yeah, it was like 6%. That bad.
Oh my gosh! A lot of people really got angry with you about that, didn't they?
Oh yeah.
No, but I mean, it's your opinion. The movie didn't land with you, and you were honest about it, and I don't have a problem with that.
That's all you have to be. Like,
that's how it is.
You just have to be your authentic self. Like like Angry Badger says, just be yourself. Don't try to be anybody else. And I didn't like it. Some people like it.
Hey, Wokies. How you doing? It's crazy how personal people take it if you don't like the same thing they do.
Oh yeah.
It makes no sense to me. But people legit get pissed at you if you have something negative to say about something they love, or if you love something that they hate.
Yeah.
It's just wild to me. Hey Dan, how you doing?
Oh, Upside Dan.
Upside Dan.
I haven't seen him in a while. Although I haven't been on Mike's live stream in a long time.
Mike.
Did you see that?
Oh, he hasn't done he hasn't done his Z Talks in a while. He's had random live streams where he'll have like and generally when he's been having them, I've been out of town.
Oh,
and I couldn't like hop on and join it. He invited me to a watch party and of what was it? It was some Arnold movie they were going to watch, and I was in Jersey and I couldn't.
Yeah.
And so I was kind of bummed about that. But when he's always fun to hang with.
Yeah. Although I don't think he likes the nerdrotic critical drinker crowd. I just get that feeling. I don't know.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I don't know. I was just like I dropped the names a few times. Is like, oh, I don't listen to them. I was like, oh, okay, all right.
Well, I don't listen much to them either so much because Nerdrotic and Critical Drinker, while I do agree with Critical a lot of times and also Nerdrotic, their channels are so focused on mostly what I was referring to last night as hate watch.
Oh,
like because it does generate a lot of clicks, and I'm just not about that. And also, I don't really want to be influenced until I see something. If I'm interested to see something, I don't want to be influenced about it, so I don't watch their stuff. Generally, if I do, it's been a while, but if I do, it's maybe after I've seen something or if I have no interest in watching it.
Yeah. I mean, I agree with most of them, but there was like one movie. Oh gosh, like when I first started my channel, I saw this movie called Fall, and
the girls on the tower.
Yeah.
Oh no, I didn't want to see that.
So I watched it because at that time, at that time I was no longer a climber, but I did climb all the way until I tore my ACL on a fall. But I know the climbing lingo. Like I know what you do, what you don't do, and that movie had so many mistakes that just my OCD brain just short circuited. Me and my nephew were like laughing throughout the entire movie.
Oh, it does take you out of it, right?
If you climbed even one time at a climbing gym, it just completely takes you out of it. Like people were pissed in the theater with us because like we were just making fun of the movie the entire like mystery.
And they were just trying to enjoy it.
Yeah, they were trying to enjoy it. We're just like, no, that's not what happened.
Well, it's true though. So I saw this movie a couple years ago with Jake Gyllenhaal in it, and I think it was called Guilty, The Guilty or something like that.
Yeah,
and he played a 911 operator.
Oh, that's right.
Or dispatcher. Okay, and it was a remake of I think a Norwegian film.
Huh?
And yeah, see, I don't know about climbing either, so a lot of stuff would probably go right over my head, just like the stuff about New York that Paul pointed out in this movie. But and that movie, The Guilty, thank you, Carl. It's just not me, and I can't fake. I just have to be the way I am, But oh my gosh, The Guilty. I almost got completely turned off of Jake Gyllenhaal in that movie because he overacted that to the extreme, and the stuff that his character was doing, there is no way in Hades that a 911 dispatcher would still be on the job as long as he was on. Like my brother is a 911 dispatcher, so I know.
Oh, okay, wow.
Yeah, he's like an LA 911 dispatcher. Oh, he has seen and heard so many, whatever.
Sure, yeah.
He's got stories.
Yeah.
But he said, and I told him, and I just kind of instinctively knew there is just no way that this would be allowed. What in the world? Yeah. And I hated his character because he was such an asshole. I did not like his character. Yeah. So then when there's this reveal at the end, I'm like, well, I don't care because I don't like you. So, and I'm tired of your voice, Jake. Shut up. Don't talk anymore. Because he just always voice annoyed me. But my brother said he would have been sent home. This is what he said. Within the first 10 minutes of the movie, he had committed X amount of infractions, on the job. It's like this, there's no way. So then I watched the original, and the original is so much better. It does such a better job because that character he's not assholey from start to finish.
Okay.
And so as things are revealed, I really wish I had seen that one first, because I probably would have, Yeah, well, I already knew what was going to happen because it was almost pretty much identical, the
Yeah.
storyline, but they did change a few things for the American audience. But boy, that just, I can't appreciate a movie like that if I know that they've got some very basic facts absolutely wrong.
Yeah.
So I get completely what you're saying.
Yeah.
That it's hard to enjoy something like that when you know better.
I've been watching The Resident lately. Sorry, like it's just I've been binging
Resident?
it. It's a show that I guess was on Fox a while back. It's
Oh,
on
okay.
Netflix now. And living where I live without really revealing my location, New York. I know a lot of doctors. I used to live in hospital housing just because by luck of the draw. And so I made a lot of doctor friends, and nobody runs through hospitals like that.
Yeah.
Like, it's way overacted. And then, so as I was watching this this TV series over the past week, because I've been like binging it like nonstop, I noticed that some patterns about the writing, and this is like what made me keep on thinking about it when we saw this movie Babes. So in The Resident, whenever like a story drags on for too long, they just kill off the character. Like it's super lazy writing. And so that got my brain was in like paying attention to the writing of Babes. And so then I caught so much, and like automatically, like in that state, my brain went back to 9 months. It was a funny, charming movie with good dialogue. Robin Williams was like really funny, and like this movie, yeah, like, it's so poorly written.
Yeah, once something gets off to a bad start, and just kind of goes off the rails in your mind, it's really typically it can't bring me back in.
I mean, it took me a minute. It's like the first, I want to say 10 to 15 minutes, I was like, okay, let's see where this is going. And then it's just like, oh God, I know a movie from 30 years ago that did this better. And so like, it's where my brain went.
Yeah. Oh, well, I've disliked mystery movies more than this, but this definitely was not one of the better ones.
That being said, I do like $5 for a mystery movie. Sign me up.
Yeah, it's not a bad deal at all, especially like New York.
Yeah, exactly. Like $5 movies. So I have to do like, let me do the math. I want to say like a triple or a quadruple feature for the movies to be $5.
Oh, yeah. So is your AMC close to you?
I don't want to reveal which AMC.
Okay, you don't have to, but like, is it easy
access? I can walk there within an hour, and then
okay.
Bus, and it would take about 25-ish minutes.
I mean, I was just wondering if it was worth it for you to sign up for their membership, and if you did, so like with the Regal Unlimited, I don't even have to pay $5. It's free.
Oh. Yeah, I mean, so like there's just not as many movies that I want to actually see.
Oh, I see.
Because like for me, it's not a money investment, it's a time investment.
Yeah.
Like 2 hours is a lot of time. Like I've noticed myself, and this might be TikTok brain rot. I don't have TikTok, but the brain rot thing, as maybe I get older, starts to creep in. When I watch a movie at home, I pause it like a million times. I
do the same thing.
Oh my God. Like, what are you doing? Can't you just like
I'll pause it and check my email, or pause it
and check your email.
Yeah, or pause it and get up to go do something. And sometimes I'll watch in chunks, and I'll take a few days to watch a movie. Someone got on my case on my channel about that, made a snarky comment to me. You don't know how to watch movies. And I was like, well, you're not the arbiter of how to watch movies. So I'll watch a movie however I want to, depending on my schedule.
Sometimes I plan double features and then end up watching only one movie because 2 hours turns into 4.
Yeah, double features are a bit exhausting.
Yeah.
The only reason I'm doing that, like with my son, is because he's got his job keeps him so busy. He generally only has like 1 or 2 days free, or 1 or 2 afternoons free. So it's not my thing, not my favorite thing to do. But,
no, I mean it for sure. It's exhausting. Like I think I want to say my second triple feature ever was way back in. Oh, I want to say it was like over the holidays, 2013, 2014. I went to see Lone Survivor, which I read the book, was phenomenal. I saw Her, followed by Wolf of Wall Street.
Oh,
So I was in the theater from 1:15 in the afternoon to 9:45 at night.
that's a long day.
Exhausted, and all
It's
three
like a work day.
were like cerebral. Like
Yeah.
Lone Survivor, I read the book. I mean, it's one of my favorite books of all time. If you haven't read it, I highly, highly, highly recommend reading Lone Survivor. It's based on a true story.
Yeah, I saw the movie years ago.
I mean, the book straight up made me cry in a couple of times. Like I was just like, I'm reading this on the train and like tears are flowing down my face, and I'm like, yeah. So that movie, yeah, like the movie was really good adaptation of the book, and then Her was a pretty cerebral movie about AI.
Yeah, that's Joaquin Phoenix.
Yeah. I mean, it was good movie. And then Wolf of Wall Street was just like it was.
Yeah.
So like just that combination. You know, I used to do like way back in the day with an ex-girlfriend. We used to do double features to like get all the Oscar nominees. And I remember one time we did Letters from Iwo Jima, followed by Blood Diamond.
Oh,
that is like 5 hours of intense.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway,
that
let me
sounds
get
intense.
my horse.
Yeah, I agree, Carl. I hate Titanic.
Yeah.
Sashi, you should just pick up from where they hit the iceberg, and then I wish they made a cut of Titanic of just when they hit the iceberg and when all the way through to the sinking, and just cut out all the Jack and Rose nonsense.
Oh, they did. It was a movie back in the 60s called Titanic. Or maybe
I thought you meant like they actually did, because I do like how they show all
more
of that
death,
happening.
less love in the old version.
I hate. Oh my gosh.
I want to say there was a German version in like the mid to late 40s.
There was one called A Night to Remember.
Oh no, these movies are straight up called Titanic.
Okay.
And
there definitely was Dell. I agree.
Sorry?
I was responding to Dell's comment.
There was definitely room for that.
I'm sorry. Go ahead, Paul.
No. I was just saying. So like the one in the fifth, like my mom keeps like raving about it. She's like the movie from like back in the day was like the American version. I want to say in like the 50s, maybe 60s of Titanic was like the definitive version. And when I watched it, I was like, okay, more death, less love. Got it. It's just James Cameron, too much.
Yeah, I wish he would get back on track with making actual
good movies.
Good movies.
He hasn't made. I'm sorry, Avatar was like, it's Dances with Wolves with Smurfs in space.
I call it Dances with Smurfs.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what it is.
That's what I've called it ever since the first movie.
Yep. Yeah. Oh, and I'm done with my scotch here. I'll switch to water and hydrate.
I've been just chugging on lemon water.
Nice. I love lemon water.
Yeah. I think we've pretty much
we've
eaten this movie into the ground, folks.
Yeah.
We have been chatting for quite a while. It's fun though. I like talking about what we've I like talking about it after.
Yeah, this was a ton of fun. I'm glad you got me onto this. You're like 3 for 3 on recommendations, Cyn.
Oh, good.
Just you keep the streak alive.
Okay, have you seen The Clove Hitch Killer?
I have not.
Okay.
Okay.
That, to me, that's an underrated little gem. And also The Final Girls.
What's that?
The Final Girls. The one with Vera what's her name? Her last name?
Vera Farmiga.
Her sister. The one with her sister in it.
All right, let me look these movies up. What was the name of the first one?
The Clove Hitch Killer. It has oh gosh, dude from The Practice.
Dylan McDermott.
Yeah, Thank you. You're so good at this, Deleted. I'm terrible. I'm just like that guy from The Practice.
Okay.
It's just this quiet little movie. It's nothing huge and overproduced. It's nothing super actiony packed, but it's very just psychologically awful.
Fantastic. IFC Films, okay.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. And The Final Girls is a very self-aware sort of movie, like a tribute to horror. And I just want you to go in as blind to that as possible.
Oh, okay.
So I won't tell you, much about the synopsis or anything. And I'm just curious to hear what you think about those when you see it.
Which do you think I should watch first?
Well, my personal would be The Final Girls, just because it's like, straight up slasher horror stuff.
Okay.
But The Clove Hitch Killer is kind of horror-ish in a sense, and you'll know what I mean when you watch it.
Got it. Okay. Hey, you're 3 for 3 on recommendations, so I will follow anything you say. I'm like,
oh, okay.
Like, the Late Night with the Devil. Oh my god.
Oh, right.
Yeah, great movie.
Right.
So good.
I wish I'd seen that on the big screen.
I know. I ended up watching it on streaming because you suggested like it was out on streaming. And I'm like, I'll just wait for it.
Yeah, it was going to come on Shudder like mid-April. I saw a screener of it, but it came to the theater for a few weeks, and I wish I had just gone ahead and
I was kind of scared to watch it because at my theater it was a 9:30 showing, and I'm like, do I really want to go
too long
right after this?
Oh,
I ended up doing that at home anyway. So okay, whatever.
Yeah, glad you enjoyed it. I feel like it was really good.
Yeah.
It's very, very efficiently paced. Only about 90 minutes long.
100%.
It worked. It worked. I saw it a second time when I was up in Jersey.
Oh, nice.
By the time it came on Shudder.
Yeah.
Saw it with my brother and liked it just as much the second time.
Nice.
I saw a movie last week called New Life.
Yeah, I heard
that
that. I think I got
is
that on my to watch list.
Fantastic. I don't even see the trailer.
Right.
Go in as blind as possible.
I think it's on my watch list because you were talking about it.
Yeah.
It's got an actress I really like, Sonia Walger. She was on she was in Lost. She was in For All Mankind. I really like her. She's a great actress. Okay. All right. Yeah. So I've got 3
I'm trying to hunt that down.
I've got 3 movies to watch now.
All right.
That you
got homework.
Got me on.
And you need to rewatch Collateral.
Oh, I so do. It was so good back in the day.
Yeah. Oh, excellent. I really wish I had seen that one on the big screen. So many good movies that I have not seen on the big screen. Well.
Okay. Well, let's go ahead and start wrapping this up. Any final thoughts on the movie or on anything?
I feel like I have regurgitated all of my negative thoughts about this movie. Okay. I don't feel like talking about that one anymore.
Yeah.
I feel like this was a therapy session. When I watched it later, I'm like,
right.
So now I purged all the negativity out of me.
You feel good now?
Yeah, I feel a lot better now. Thank you very much.
Good.
Thanks, Dr. Cyn.
Yeah.
Happy to help.
My final thoughts on it, there's some funny lines in the second half. It's not enough to save the movie, though.
100%.
Because it just feels like another unfunny millennial comedy that wasn't made for my age group. So
No. It was unfunny for any age group. Like, don't no self-deprecating here. It was
there was some laughter in my theater.
I know.
More than
too.
I honestly expected.
Yeah.
But and some of it was like, yeah, okay, that's funny, and some of it I did laugh at, but most of it I was like, this is not funny. This is gross
TikTok
and
brain
stupid.
rot.
Maybe. I don't know what the heck.
Yeah. I mean, no, but I'm actually like, yeah, like we really aligned on this, because I was just like, if I say that I found it crass and vulgar, like, will they agree? And then you automatically like jumped on that. I was like, oh, okay. So I guess like I'm not off base here.
I had a feeling Deleted wouldn't like it.
Yeah.
Most of the time,
it's not my cup of tea as a movie.
Yeah. No.
Yeah.
But hey, you know, it's a, you know, $5 mystery movie. Throw the dice, you know, grab some popcorn and, you know, enjoy the film.
Yeah. Maybe next week's will be better.
Yeah, I got my ticket already, so
nice. Yeah, so do I.
Yeah, me too.
Nice.
Now watch yours be different.
I know, right?
If
I was hoping
if it is, review it.
Yeah, that's
yeah.
Because I was kind of hoping that yours would be different, because then I would get some perspective on like another film, and I would it would help me decide whether or not I was interested in it or not.
I was actually fearing that it was different, because then you guys would be talking about some other movie, and then I'd be stuck talking about this awful movie.
Oh, well, we're all in the same boat of misery.
We're all in the same boat. We
Sashi,
for our audience together.
This movie was too bad I couldn't even laugh at it. Like at it, there were the moments that I laughed. There were a couple of genuine funny moments, but it just like Deleted said, it was not enough to save it.
Yeah, yeah. And you know what I feel the same about? It was maybe the movie Bottoms.
Haven't seen that.
I didn't bother with that.
It was funnier, little less crass, but also just like, you know, There just hasn't been a really good comedy. Like, I want another Blazing Saddles, please.
Oh, that's coming back to the big screen, by the way.
Ooh, yeah. All right.
Nice. They might be showing it at your AMC. They're showing it at Regal, and a lot of times they kind of cycle the same.
Yeah. I would love to see that on the big screen.
The Crow is coming back to the big screen as well.
I need to watch that, because I haven't seen it.
I'm gonna go see that when it comes to the big screen, just because I do plan to watch the new one, and I kind of want to compare and contrast.
Yeah. When's the new one coming out?
I don't remember. I don't recall. Maybe a couple. I don't know. I'm not even going to guess.
I actually did enjoy Bottoms, Del. Like, I remember liking it. It definitely wasn't. I mean, it was definitely funnier than Babes. When I saw the title, I was like, "Are we seeing a sequel to the movie Babe?" 1995.
Had you not seen the trailer for this? I had seen the trailer. Oh, okay.
Because I checked the schedule like a few weeks out, and I saw Babes, and I was like, "Is that a sequel to Babe?"
That's funny.
Yeah.
Well, they already had a sequel to Babe.
Oh, did they?
Yep. Wow. Babe 2, Pig in the City, or something like that.
I totally missed that.
Yep.
Oh, well.
A few years after the first one.
Yeah, that's all I gotta say about Babes.
Yep. Done talking about it.
Done talking about it. Thank you for the therapy session.
You're quite welcome.
I remember.
All right, Deleted. Sorry, we're done.
Okay. Oh, well, you see. No. No, none of that. Therapy session is over. It is time to wrap it up. I do want to thank everyone who joined us on Twitter. I can't see you, but I know that you're there. I want to thank everybody who was here in the chat.
Yes, thank you so much.
including Shadow of the Raven, The Iron Herder, The View with Drew, Caveat Ties, Lost and the Real, Dad Man Walking 55, Emoji Queen, Lady Mist, Cream 650, JPRPH1, Our Man from the Future, Sashi,
Nice.
Upside Dan, Dell on Movies, Wilkie's Movies and Music, and Faithful Blue Wrench, the Bird Woman of YouTube, Connie Cleary. Check out her second channel, Fluff Chick Productions. All right. All right, let's go around the horn. What do you have coming up? All right, Paul.
Oh, I'm on the spotlight.
You are.
And like fully on the spotlight. So I've got a video coming out tomorrow about the troubles at Square Enix following their disastrous financial results and a really, 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 really bad remake of Final Fantasy VII, one of my most favorite games of all time. And then I have, which Cyn is coming on board, a live stream for on Thursday. Thirsty Thursdays is back. I'm doing it every other week, hoping to make it weekly. But we are back this Thursday at 7 p.m. Eastern. Hope you can join us.
Oh, excuse me. Sorry, had to mute there. I've been fighting a bit of a cold, folks, so I've had to mute myself from time to time during the broadcast. I'm back now.
On the mend?
Still. Yeah, I'll live. All right. Even though she doesn't like me to blow her up to full screen, I'm going to do it anyway.
Stand it. I can't stand it. So, Carl, I have added the Wisdom of Crocodiles to my watch list. I think I did that whenever you first mentioned that to me. So, yeah. Right. What I've got coming up, I don't have any reviews scheduled at the moment. I'm going to repurpose some reviews from when I was with Sound Booth Theater doing when I would be on their channel doing live streams. I do have a live stream with Sound Booth Theater coming up this Wednesday. Sound Booth Theater is the company I work with, audiobooks and stuff, but we do movie discussions now every third Wednesday of the month. We're going to be talking about The Big Lebowski, Face Off, and Excalibur. And then Thursday I'll be on Paul's channel talking about whatever with the Angry Badger and Hard Cut reviews.
And a couple more people. We got a couple more.
Oh, okay. New people. Okay, cool. And next week, Mystery Movie Monday again. And probably at some point, movie reviews, because I'm going to go see If. I think If is this weekend.
Yes, it is.
I've got a couple movies I'm going to go see this weekend. One is If, and then I think maybe sometime later, is it also The Strangers Chapter 1 coming out this weekend?
I think so, yeah.
Yes, it is. And so I'm going to go see that, and then I'm going to go, yeah. So probably reviews for that will be coming out a day or two after I go see them.
Nice.
So, yeah, that's on my schedule.
Looking forward to it.
All right.
And what about you, Deleted?
Right. It's on over to me. Let's see. Tomorrow, Tuesday night, live from Sparkwood 21, right here on my channel, 8:30 p.m. Eastern. It is a retrospective of the Twin Peaks television series. Troy Pacelli, Netter's Network, and Aged Boomer are going to be joining me for that. Wednesday night at 7, I'm going to be joining Jedi Bill for our watch-along for the season finale of Fallout. So stay tuned for that.
I love Fallout, by the way.
I still have not.
Yeah, I'm digging it too. And of course, Thursday, join Bill and I again for Action Theater, and we are going to be watching The Great Escape. And of course, don't forget to join us on Saturday for our Action Theater Extra Dose, where we are going to be watching 12 Strong.
Ooh, that's a good one.
All right.
I have not seen that one yet.
Right. And then don't forget to join me Sunday night for a brand new episode of Unscripted. That will be at 8 p.m. And it's going to be an episode entitled If I Had a Hammer. And I am going to be talking about someone whose name rhymes with Smallick Maldwin.
Oh. All right.
Yeah. So, and I've got a couple of choice words for how the FBI has been handling their investigations. So stay tuned for that. And of course, earlier that day will be Western Cinema Presents, again with Jedi Bill. And we are going to be watching Sam Peckinpah's Pat Garrett and Billy the Kid with James Coburn, Chris Christopherson, and a certain Mr. Bob Dylan in his film debut.
Yeah.
So follow along for that. And of course, later on that night, 12:05 a.m. Eastern Time, 11:05 Central, for The Other Side of Midnight. And I will be talking to a few people through the week about joining me for that. So, and I promise...
Just don't derail it.
We will not derail it.
Oh my gosh, last night was like, oh.
I went and I
so
made it
off the rails.
It did. I swear to you, I had topics planned, and then I made an offhand remark on another.
The show never recovered.
On another show
after you brought that up.
Just went.
Yep.
And oddly, people liked it though. So that was...
And I was just like, can we start talking about movies, please?
I tried to bring it. I tried to steer it back. Connie, no, Connie, no.
And Troy,
do not derail my
stop.
broadcast. Stop.
We're trying to keep it PG now. That's strictly X-rated.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Okay. All right. So, all right. Cyn, I know you don't have an outro, but attempt to go for one anyway.
Okay, nos vemos. See ya. We'll see each other. Bye.
All righty.
Yeah, I'm not good at this.
I'll be back.
I'll be back. Hasta la vista. Thank you, everybody, for watching.
Yeah, bye,
Appreciate
everybody.
it. This was a lot of fun.
Yeah, a lot of fun.
All right.
Good night,
And
everybody.
as I always say, thank you to everyone who joined us in the chat, everyone who joined us here on Twitter. Please feel free to like, share, and subscribe. 145 people are watching us live right now, and I think that's the most for any live stream that I've ever done.
Excellent.
So thank you all very much.
Fantastic.
147 now. Wow. Okay.
That's so great. Thank you for watching, everybody.
Thank you all very much. If you are new to my channel, we do this show at least every other week, right? Usually.
Yeah, there have been times where
it kind of depends.
They had it every
on,
week, like when I was out of town, of course. But generally, it's like every other week, twice a month, usually.
All right.
This time it's 2 weeks in a row.
And Paul is going to be rejoining us tomorrow, regardless of whatever AMC might be showing.
You mean
Next
Monday?
week.
Monday.
Yeah.
What did I say?
You said tomorrow.
I said tomorrow?
Yeah,
Okay.
you did. It's late.
Monday.
Yeah,
I'm
a
in the
long night
bag.
last night with
No.
an off the rails show that went for a couple hours.
Yes, please go back and watch last night's episode of The Other Side of Midnight. It was actually kind of funny. It's just that I derailed my own program, folks.
Yes, you
as,
did.
as only I could, and better than I usually do.
Yep, and the crowd just did not help the comments. They just kept.
That's why Paulie wasn't. I sent the link to Paulie. He didn't come on. No, I think he
was
watched that for
probably
5 minutes
no.
and bailed the hell out of there. No,
I'm not partaking of it. Do you know what happened the other day? Oh gosh, this is. I'll tell you guys. I can tell you guys. I'll tell you guys. What now? Okay. It doesn't matter if you want me to. I will.
Sure.
Okay, so my live stream where I was doing the movies that we hate that most people seem to love. I was taught one of the movies that I listed. It was talking about Blood In, Blood Out, which is or also called Bound by Honor, which is a movie about Chicanos. And I put that up as a movie that I hate, and I know Paulie likes it, but that's not why I put it up. I just have never liked that movie, primarily because the main actor, Damian Chapa, I thought he was terrible in the role and just over the top and ridiculous. But also a lot of it is a prison movie, and I'm not a fan of prison movies. And I mentioned something about, if Paulie knew I was saying this or something along those lines, he would like disown me as a friend. I would be banned. And like a few seconds after I said that, Paulie's like, I just got here. I was like, oh gosh. And he was like, that's it. You're banned from the channel. No, you're no friend anymore. Stuff like it was so funny. Perfect timing. Nice. I had no idea that was going to happen. But yeah. Anyway, speaking of Paulie, if you guys don't sub to Paulie, go sub to Paulie. His channel is great. Please do that. Also, Film Threat. Go sub to Film Threat. They're another great channel.
Sub to Film Threat. Sub to Cyn.
So good to see Chris Core back.
Yes, indeed. Chris Core, welcome back, sir.
Yeah.
Indeed.
Very, very happy to see him back.
Alrighty.
Sorry, derailed your outro. Sorry.
No, that's perfectly fine.
I'm getting you back for last night.
Indeed. All right, so sub to Cyn, sub to Paul over at Off the Cover, and everybody, please sub to each other in the chat. So,
a lot of great people. Indeed.
From HQ and all points north, south, east, west, and beyond. Good night. Take care. Stay strong, because this is how we win.